Hey folks, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to check in for the first week in August. So let's just grab our glasses and get right to it. I did notice yesterday after I did the video and was checking it out to make sure it was doing, that the volume was good, it didn't cut out with the sound in the middle or anything. I realized that I left a detail out about that number that I gave my financial planner. So the number I'm giving him is just like the necessities for living, right? It doesn't include health insurance. And that was this number I was talking about, the 39,000 or so that I told him. Doesn't include health insurance. That is a separate budget item in his analysis. It also does not include um, a want expense for travel, which is a separate line item. And I think there's one other line item, and I don't remember what it was. I think it was like a temporary amount for the household, the mortgage expense until it's paid off. And he has that payoff date that is calculated on from my mortgage website. So that number isn't actually the amount that's going to be drawn in a year, because I don't think that would be enough to live in this household with the current expenses that are going on. My calculation included those expenses that I have for necessities. It also includes how much the escrow amount that's currently going into my mortgage payments. Those will come out when my mortgage is paid. It includes that. So there's actually some, I guess, double charges in there for a couple years or maybe 4 years while I'm paying the mortgage, but the calculation also includes me paying my insurance and taxes outside of the mortgage. But still, it doesn't account for some things. It's included as a different type of item inside of the calculation that's performed in they have some type of high-powered application that just analyzes all of the data that gets put in and determines whether or not it is feasible. So I just wanted to clarify that. The other thing I wanted to mention, so everybody's life is a little bit different. We're all kind of at different areas. And if you're hanging out here and you realize, you know what, she's talking about things that I can't even relate to right now, or she's just not in the same situation. I just can't relate to her budget. Well, on my website at the bottom, I watch people who are in different circumstances, and I always kind of get little tidbits and inspiration and even motivation from them, even if they're not in that same part of life that I am. And I put not all of them, but I put a good number of those people that I go out and watch at the bottom of my YouTube landing page. So if you go to the bottom, maybe check out some of those other content creators. They have a lot of good ideas. They could use the same inspiration that you guys give me when you come in and watch the videos, post comments at the bottom, give me a like. All of that helps us. And, I can't speak for other folks, but a lot of us are here for that reason, right? We're here to give you inspiration, but we're also here for inspiration and motivation for ourselves as well. So I just wanted to mention that. If you didn't know, check out some other content creators who have given me inspiration over the years. All right, so we're in August, and August is going to be a no-spend month. Let me just pull in a little bit because it looks a little small. And so far, so good. I think I mentioned a month or so ago that I'm not going to include going to the grocery store as a spend, provided that it's not uh, outside of the budget, because I just don't think that saying we're not going to spend on groceries is, yeah, that just is not reasonable. Or all of these expected bills. So no spend will be like extras, like going to a restaurant. We'll try not to do that all month, and if I do, I will not put a no spend. The other thing is, from time to time, I get a game or a video or something like that, and if I do that for myself and my daughter does not reimburse me, I will not add a no spend. So just want to clarify what I count as no spend versus what you might count as no spend. So first week was pretty short, so there's not much to report. The typical mortgage, I did get a payday, so that's added in there. So let's just go ahead and take a peek at that. The payroll was dropped in, and I do share my payroll because I work at a major university, and when you work for the state, your income is public knowledge. Anybody who knows me, my name, knows where I work, can look me up and find out how much I make, so I don't have any problem sharing that with you all. Excuse me. My expenses here at the start, as I mentioned, for various reasons, things are more expensive at the start of the month. Although some of my bills are shifting. I wonder if that's still it's still the case by about you know $300 or $400. So I am putting. I think I mentioned that I'm going to reduce my food budget because I'm spending less. And when Rachel leaves, it's definitely going to go down quite a bit because I still buy things for the boys, just because that's like part of my love language, I think, is making things for people, buying things for people, just food. I've always had an association with love with giving people food that they like to eat. I don't know why. It's just a thing that I like to do. Um, Pet care, I think I will need to get some litter, but I don't need to get food this cycle. And these are just some adjustments I made from when I originally made up August. I had to do some adjustments because I realized if I was doing no spend that some of these things were not going to be needed, and I also realized like I won't need gas, I won't need food for the cats. Um, Household I took out. I don't think I'm going to need any of those like big like toilet paper or paper towels, those things, because I got it last month at the sort of towards the end of the month. So what I'm looking at here is hopefully a U.S. bank still roughly, and U.S. bank is my debt, hopefully still within that 700 and some range, but it's going to be a little bit tight. I do believe I'm going to spend some money in these categories that I don't have accounted for, and that's the way it happens every single month. But if I can still stay 750, even though this says 952, if I can stay 750, I'll be happy. I did put in $50. This is an automatic draft, and I'm not going to change it, even though I'm focusing on that debt. I'm just going to let that ride. This went into entertainment because I mentioned I have this Amazon Prime, and I will pull that from sinking funds, and that extra $50 will get it to the amount that I need to cover that. So that is where that went. As far as adjustments in this second, I didn't do a whole lot of adjusting here. There wasn't much to change. So this pretty much stayed the same. Let's go take a peek. Oh, I think I forgot to highlight. Yes, I did. I forgot to highlight my expenses. I had my mortgage. I went to Food Lion to grab some couple things that we needed that we were missing. Other than that, it was pretty quiet 2 days. I did, however, there's the sinking funds. My daughter wanted to get a movie for the boys, and she has given me $20. I think I mentioned last month that there was an entertainment expense in Amazon, which I've not even gone to see what the movie was. One of us, and we don't know who did it. We both were like, I don't remember buying a movie, but she also gave a little extra money for that because since neither one of us knew who paid for it, who bought it, um, without going into Amazon. We both have access to that Amazon account, so I don't know why either one of us don't want to go in there and look for it. So the 14.99, she put $20 in the jar that's in the kitchen for me. So she paid for this. I don't consider this at my expense, which is why I set um, the first as a no spend day because I don't consider that my purchase. Um, Other than that, there's not much else going on. So I don't have anything on the debt payment plan because that statement does not come out for another week and a half or so. But once it does, I'll put it on there. It is going to be roughly the amount due from last month is going to be roughly $4,700. Um, and hopefully, looking at this, so 1400 plus 700, so hopefully 2100, so a little less than half down. You know, I'm really happy with how I've been able to really focus on that. Even if this was $1,500, I still think that's respectable. I won't have problems, you know, as long as it's over $1,000 in 1 month. I'm pretty happy about that, and that'll get it paid off reasonably quick. Uh, I don't, when we talk in terms of debt, at one point my debt was up to $10,000. And I think it was in January. Just give me a second, guys. And that took me a long time to pull down. And now I can't even find it. Oh, that's checking. Yeah, here it is. So back in January, it got up to a little over $10,000. And that was, a result of a lot of different things. It was just, a huge debt from earlier in the year. Plus, I was trying to pay off stuff for going on vacation. I had some pet bills. It just was just a cascade of things that caused this to happen. But I don't anticipate that this is going to happen again. Um, where I would make a little progress and I'd have to add more and I'd make a little progress and I have to add a lot more. I don't see that happening here in the coming months. So I expect that the amount that, or the length of time that it'll take me to pay off this debt that I've just accrued, it won't take me nearly as long. And that took me from really last October all the way through July. That's how long it took me to pay off all of that debt that I kept having to drop in there. But this time I really am going to focus a little more on getting that going. So I did just a small amount of adjustment in here, but I really left it mostly as is. I changed pet care a little bit, but all of the other things, even though I adjusted them in here, I didn't really do much here. So I'm just going to leave it as this, kind of expect to pay somewhere around $2,000 for debt this month and hope that that sticks. I am going to go ahead and track this since I've got the no spend, no dining out. I'm going to go ahead and track my food expenses here. I'm not going to do a meal plan. It's just not something that I tried to do it a few months and it seemed like it was working, but I always found like I was more kind of cooking on the fly what I wanted and not really looking at what I was scheduled to cook. It's all based on, oh, I just feel like eating this today and not this other thing. So as long as I'm going to the grocery store with the plan that I'm purchasing to cook meals whether it's tacos or some chicken or a salad or um, I really want to get some meat for some burrito tacos. I don't know if you guys remember this. My daughter got me these bombs, these balls, where you throw them in the cook pot with your meat, and oh my gosh, they're so good. They have so much flavor. And the one that I liked the best that she got me burritos. I think she got me some type of um, soup, and then the other one was some type of chicken. I can't remember what it was called, but my favorite was the burrito tacos, which I oh man, I like burrito tacos. Just yeah. So I am probably going to get some of that meat, and it's not cheap, but it lasts for days and days. I could eat it all week. Um, but in any case, I am going to track what I spend as far as food and then what I spend if I spend anything dining out, which I will try not to do. And that pretty much covers the check-in for August. Mostly it's about planning to bring that debt down, just because, I am paying interest on that card, and the quicker I bring it down, the less interest I'll pay. I hate paying interest. Um, you know, is sort of a punishment for lack of planning, but I hope at some point to be in a position where I won't run into expenses like this and be unprepared. And that's what all of this is about, to try and be prepared for those things and be ready for them when they come. So I'm looking to check in again next week on the 9th. So I will talk to you then.